All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look, they say we are at war with Iran. We are at war with Iran, man. Me being a proud Navy veteran, U.S. Navy Armed Forces, you know what I'm saying? Super excited to hear where we are at with the festivities that's happening in the Middle East. Now, we'll be chopping it up about what's going on, the latest, the greatest, what we agree with, what we don't agree with, what missions we should be accomplishing, what missions we should be stopping, all those different things. I am Marcus Bowers TV, the host of the First Amendment, and the most important thing today that we're going to be doing a reaction video on is my boy Donald Trump, man. Y'all just seen him, man. I want to put my gear on, you know what I'm saying? I said we are war. I'm like, okay, we are war. Let me go and get prepared because we are at war. And if you know anything, man, at least I heard there were some meteorites that just touched down here in the middle of the U.S. Did y'all hear about that? Some meteorites touched down here in the U.S. But we'll talk about that later. But let's see what Donald Trump had to say.
Let's take a listen.
Thank you very much. My fellow Americans, good evening. Let me begin by congratulating the team at NASA and our brave astronauts on the successful launch of Artemis II. It was quite something. It will be traveling further than any manned rocket has ever flown and will very substantially pass the moon, go around it, and come back home from a distance that has never been done before.
What is Artemis 2? I don't know what that is. What is Artemis 2? Let me look that up, man. Artemis 2. Artemis 2 must be one of the new NASA rockets or something. My son is really into NASA, so I'm super into it as well. Artemis 2 is the first crewed mission in NASA's Artemis program designed to send astronauts around the moon and back, marking humanity's return to deep space since Apollo 17 in 1972. So they're going into deep space, man. Who going? Mission purpose, to test NASA's deep space systems with humans on board. They fly astronauts on a lunar flyby, not a landing. They just flying by some stuff, you know what I'm saying? They want to validate the Orion spacecraft and life support systems found up there near the moon, man. Okay, shout out to them. What else we got?
Before, it's amazing. They are on the way, and God bless them. These are brave people. We want to God bless those four unbelievable astronauts. As we speak this evening, it's been just 1 month.
He talking about astronauts because he letting y'all know where we going. That boy say, hey, shout out to the astronauts because we might be having wars in space sometime soon. You know what I'm saying? We got robots and humanoids or anything.
The United States military began Operation Epic Fury, targeting the world's #1 state sponsor of terror, Iran.
Epic Fury. Why do you come up with these names, man? Epic Fury. Did y'all see that they called the war in Iran right now, the current war, Epic Fury? And somebody said it was in relation to Epstein Fury. Epstein Fury. You know what I'm saying? Epstein files. Something along those lines, man. Did y'all hear about that, man? Epstein Fury, Epstein files. What's the relation, man? Let's see if there is a relation that we are not paying attention to. So let's see. Epic Fury isn't an official case name tied to Epstein. It's more of a phrase people use to describe the massive public outrage surrounding his crimes. So Epic Fury. Epic Fury is the phrase that people use to describe the massive public outrage surrounding Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. So that's also the name of the Iran war that's taking place right now in the Middle East that they use probably to distract us. I want y'all to know that. It's probably, I'm just letting you know, I'm just reading on the news here. This isn't me, my thoughts, I'm just reading on the news. Epic Fury, the Middle East war that's taking place right now in relation to Epstein.
In these past 4 weeks, our armed forces have delivered swift, decisive, overwhelming victories on the battlefield. victories like few people have ever seen before. Tonight, Iran's Navy is gone. Their Air Force is in
Hey,
ruins.
I was in
Their
the
leaders.
I was in the Navy, man. When I saw what they did to Iran's Navy, Iran's military, blowing up all those ships and everything, man, that's no easy task. That's not something that you can just do overnight. So shout out to Donald Trump for actually doing that. That's something I'm in agreement with, man. If you can take out these people's navies, because think about what our navies are doing. If you think about what our Navy is doing, just think about what they wish their Navy could do. They wish their Navy could go across the ocean to the other side of the world, to somebody else's land, and wreak havoc and wreck shop, just like what our aircraft carriers are doing. So again, shout out to Donald Trump and his administration for knocking that out, man. Let's see what else he's talking about.
Them, terrorist regime they led are now dead. Their command and control of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is being decimated as we speak. Their ability to launch missiles and drones is dramatically curtailed, and their weapons, factories, and rocket launchers are being blown to pieces. Very few of them left. Never in the history of warfare has an enemy suffered such clear and devastating large-scale losses in a matter of weeks. Our enemies are losing, and America, as it has been for 5 years under my presidency, is winning, and now winning bigger than ever before. Before discussing this current situation, I also want to thank our troops for the masterful job they did in taking the country of Venezuela in a matter of minutes. That hit was quick, lethal, violent, and respected by everyone all over the world. After rebuilding our military during my first...
I think that we thought that Iran was going to be similar to Venezuela. We thought we was going to be able to just swarm up in there in the middle of the night, knock out a couple of leaders, take some oil barrels, and then get back to the U.S. and act like nothing ever happened. Unfortunately, it ain't going down like that in the Middle East, man. Them boys.
First term, we have by far the strongest military anywhere in the world. And now we're working along with Venezuela and are, in a true sense, joint venture partners. We're getting along incredibly well in the production and sale of massive amounts of oil and gas, the second largest reserves on Earth after the United States of America. We're now totally independent of the Middle East, and yet we are there to help.
Now, when I heard this, when he just said this during his presidential address, he pointed out the fact that the United States has the largest oil reserves in the world. Okay, shout out to us. You know what I'm saying? Oil and gas industry. I wish I was a part of that. I'm a part of the hair industry instead, though. So shout out to the hair industry as well. Another billion-dollar industry. That oil, that's trillion and zillions, though. I'm trying to get to that level, right? Now, Venezuela has the second largest reserves when it comes to oil in the world. That's what he said. I'm sure the Middle East got to be 2.5 or something. You know what I'm saying? 2.5, third place, something like that. Now, knowing that Venezuela has oil reserves too, from what I read, Venezuela's oil reserve isn't as refined as our oil or the Middle Eastern oil. You got to take it through so many other refinery states before it's actually usable. So, boom, you get the Venezuelan oil, it's going to cost you a little bit of money in order to bottle it up and make it usable for all the other products and things like that. Now, I know for a fact that the United States don't like using our own oil. We don't want to use our oil. We always go everywhere else, borrow their oil, take their oil, buy their oil. So that way, in a time of war just like this, we don't have to depend on somebody else's oil making it to us at a time like this. Exactly what we're going through. So shout out to all the presidents that came before by allowing and keeping us with the oil reserves that we got beneath us right now. You know what I'm saying? Keeping a little bit of oil here and there just in case we go to war.
We don't have to be there. We don't need their oil. We don't need anything they have, but we're there to help our allies. Tonight, I want to provide an update on the tremendous progress our warriors have made in Iran and discuss why Operation Epic Fury is necessary for the safety of America and the security of the free world. From the very first day I announced my campaign for president in 2015, I have vowed that I would never allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. This fanatical regime has been chanting death to America, death to Israel for 47 years. Their proxies were behind the murder of 241 Americans in the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut, the slaughter of hundreds of our service members with roadside bombs. They were involved in the attack on the USS Cole, and they carried out the countless other heinous acts, including the just horrible, bloody atrocities of October 7th in Israel, something that most people have never seen anything like it. This murderous regime also recently killed 45,000 of their own people who were protesting in Iran. 45,000 dead. For these terrorists to have nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat. The most violent and thuggish regime on earth would be free to carry out their campaigns of terror, coercion, conquest, and mass murder from behind a nuclear shield. I will never let that happen, and neither should any of our past presidents. This situation has been going on for 47 years and should have been handled long before I arrived in office. I did many things during my 2 terms in office to stop the quest for nuclear weapons by Iran first, and perhaps most importantly, I killed General Qasem Soleimani in my first term. He was.
I remember that, man. General Soleimani. I believe he was killed by a helicopter or something, man. If I remember right, my people told me, I'm Special Forces veteran, what I'm talking about. What I was told was General Soleimani was hanging out in the Middle East somewhere, and all of a sudden some aircraft, helicopters, the fighter jets, just pulled up in the middle of the neighborhood and just shot him up in the neighborhood. So it was an interesting way to die. You know what I'm saying? Not a helicopter incident. Did not die in a helicopter crash. He was killed on January 3rd, 2020. January 3rd, 2020 in Baghdad International Airport. It was a U.S. drone strike ordered by then President Trump. So shout out to President Trump again, man. No helicopter was involved in General Soleimani's death, but it was a drone strike. Can you imagine being somewhere and a drone just fly to where you at and just take out you and your bus and your entourage and everybody else? That's exactly what happened to Soleimani. So his death was a big deal. It escalated the tensions between the U.S. and Iran dramatically. That's exactly what happened. When that happened, they rose the red flag up. They was over there. You know how we do the half mast for when we lose a soldier or something like that? They was doing the same thing over there in Iran. Iran responded with missile strikes on all the U.S. bases. It's back to 2020. So now, fast forward to 2026, it's just an ongoing feud that's always been brewing right there in the Middle East. So many fear that it could lead to a larger war in the Middle East, and that's exactly what's happening right now.
He's an evil genius, brilliant person, a horrible human being, however, the father of the roadside bomb. And he lived just horrible what he did. Iran would have been perhaps in far better, stronger position. He lived, we would have had probably a different conversation tonight. But you know what? We'd still be winning and winning big. And then very importantly, I terminated Barack Hussein Obama's Iran nuclear deal, a disaster. Obama gave them $1.7 billion in cash, green cash, took it out of banks from Virginia, D.C., and Maryland, all the cash they had. He flew it by airplanes in an attempt to buy their respect and loyalty, but it didn't work. They laughed at our president and went on with their mission to have a nuclear bomb. His Iran deal would have led to a colossal arsenal of massive nuclear weapons for Iran. And they would have had them years ago, and they would have used them. Would have been a different world. There would have been no Middle East and no Israel right now, in my opinion, the opinion of a lot of great experts, had I not terminated that terrible deal. And I was so honored to do it. I was so proud to do it. It was so bad right from the beginning. Essentially, I did what no other president was willing to do. They made mistakes, and I am correcting them. My first preference was always the path of diplomacy, yet the regime continued their relentless quest for nuclear weapons and rejected every attempt at an agreement. For this reason, in June, I ordered a strike on Iran's.
No, I'm curious, man. I want to know the Iran deal, right? Let's talk about it, man. The Iran deal. Was it a good deal or was it not a good deal? You know what I'm saying? Let's see, man. So you got Barack Obama. He gave a deal to Iran to make sure that they did not get nukes. The Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA. It was created in 2015. Barack Obama, the administration. It was to stop Iran from building a nuclear weapon in exchange for lifting economic sanctions. Because when you got these sanctions on you economically, you can't even buy a good loaf of bread, man. You don't even have Coca-Cola products over there. You got regular BPI soda. You know what I'm saying? Fake soda, fake toilet paper. You got fake everything over there in these nations, man. So Obama's deal did the good. Like it slowed Iran's nuclear program. Iran reduced uranium enrichment, the whole shebang. It limited the centrifuges and nuclear activity. They had strict inspections, economic relief. They avoided any type of immediate war. That's when Obama was in office, you know what I'm saying? But then they had a sunset clause where after so long, 10 to 15 years, those restrictions would expire. So a lot of people knew that, at least the critics said that Iran, they could just go wait. They can wait about 10, 15 years, and next thing you know, they're going to have some bombs and nuclear bombs like everybody else, right? But the deal didn't address everything. It didn't address like ballistic missiles and everything else that Iran had as far as outside bases like Iraq and Syria and Yemen and all the whole nine, right? So Trump canceled it in 2018. So Obama signed a deal in 2015, and Trump came in and canceled it in 2018. He withdrew the U.S. from the deal. Why? He just called it a bad deal. He said it was too lenient. He believed it empowered Iran way too much economically. He wanted a broader deal covering missiles and regional activity. Like the pros in of Trump canceling the deal, it maximized the pressure. You know what I'm saying? The boys couldn't do nothing. They tried to force a better deal. They tried to renegotiate stricter terms. They tried to do all that, and Trump ended up canceling the deal in full.
Key nuclear facilities, an Operation Midnight Hammer. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Those beautiful B-2 bombers performed magnificently. We totally obliterated those nuclear sites. The regime then sought to rebuild their nuclear program at a totally different location, making clear they had no intention of abandoning their pursuit of nuclear weapons. They were also rapidly building a vast stockpile of conventional ballistic missiles and would soon have had missiles that could reach the American homeland, Europe, and virtually any other place on Earth. Iran's strategy was so obvious. They wanted to produce as many missiles as possible, and they did, with the longest.
Now, he just said that, Iran been trying to build missiles that could reach anywhere on Earth, especially the U.S. I don't know if y'all seen or not, but I just read that we had a couple of meteorites that touched down in the middle of the U.S. They said meteorites. That's what they call it. I don't know, meteorites, missiles, tomato, you know what I'm saying? Meteorites in the U.S. Recent days, you know what I'm saying? They just touched down in the middle of the U.S. Let's see. It was a couple of them. I know y'all seen about it. Recent meteor sightings in the U.S. the last few days. What's been happening? You have multiple people across the U.S., especially in southern states like Texas and nearby regions. Everybody reporting seeing bright fireballs streaking across the U.S., streaking across the night sky. They're talking about meteorites. If y'all think those are meteorites, I got some ocean water I want to sell you right outside of the Gulf of America. You know what I'm saying? Because we won't call it the Gulf of Mexico no more. But what it actually is, most sightings are meteors. That's what they're saying. They're saying that the sightings are meteors. If little fireballs just flying around the sky, I think they missiles. I think they missiles coming from way over yonder, coming way over here. Never before have we seen meteorites touch down in a 3-day week span, something like that, right? I think the last couple of days, we actually had meteorites touch down right here in America. Let's see, what days was it? What states, what cities did the meteorites touch down in recently? Let's see, man. Let's see what they tell us. What cities were there? What cities were there? American Meteor Society, Texas. High activity recently. You got Texas, of course, Houston, Dallas, and then you got Florida. Bright fireballs reported moving fast across the sky, often seen in the evening hours. In Florida, you had multiple witnesses reported green and blue glowing meteors, a sign of minerals burning. In California, you had long streaks visible over the coast, sometimes captured by people's dash cams and cameras. And then even in the Midwest and the East Coast, Chicago, Atlanta, New York, you got shorter flashes, but still widely reported by a lot of people. I think that there could be missiles or anything like that coming from the other side of the world. Hey, man, who knows? They say they meteorites. We gonna see. Let's keep watching.
Range possible, and they had some weapons that nobody believed they had. We just learned that out. We took them out. We took them all out so that no one would really dare stop them. And they're raced for a nuclear bomb, a nuclear weapon like nobody's ever seen before. They were right at the doorstep. For years, everyone has said that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons, but in the end, those are just words if you're not willing to take action when the time comes. As I stated in my announcement of Operation Epic Fury, our objectives.
Don't forget, Epic Fury it stems from Epstein's fury. Epic Fury, they're trying to, you know what I'm saying, distraction.
Are very simple and clear. We are systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. That means eliminating Iran's Navy, which is now absolutely destroyed, hurting their Air Force and their missile program at levels never seen before, and annihilating their defense industrial base. We've done all of it. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these.
Again, man, when I heard this good news, I mean, again, I don't want to see anybody dying. I don't want to see any bodies dropping, but I don't mind seeing equipment being blown up. And when you get a chance to blow up somebody else's military equipment, aircraft, carriers, ships, submarines, hey, man, go and knock it out. Because if you don't knock it out, they could eventually use those things on you. So shout out to Trump, all the men and women in uniform going over there in the Middle East, doing their part, making sure that we're blowing up whatever it is that they can use against us. So shout out to that.
Actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb. Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone.
Y'all agree with the war, man? Let me know in the chat, man. Say yes or no. Give me a Y, give me an N, give me a fire emojis. I want to know if you actually agree with this war.
Is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion. As we celebrate this progress, we think especially of the 13 American warriors who have laid down their lives in this fight to prevent our children from ever having to face a nuclear Iran. Twice this past month, I have traveled to Dover Air Force Base, and it's been something. I wanted to be with those heroes as they return to American soil, and I was with them and their families, their parents, their wives, their husbands. We salute them, and now we must honor them by completing the mission for which they gave their lives. And every single one of the people, their loved ones said, please, sir, please finish the job, every one of them. And we are going to finish the job, and we're going to finish it very fast. We're getting very close. I want to thank our allies in the Middle East, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Kuwait, and Bahrain. They've been great, and we will not let them get hurt or fail in any way, shape, or form. Many Americans have been concerned to see the recent rise in gasoline prices here at home. The short-term increase has been entirely.
Hey, gas prices have increased. I don't know if they're going to be short-term, but I know it's affecting boys' pockets right now, man. Let's see what he got to say.
The result of the Iranian regime launching deranged terror attacks against commercial oil tankers in neighboring countries that have nothing to do with the conflict. This is yet more proof that Iran can never be trusted with nuclear weapons. They will use them, and they will use them quickly. It would lead to decades of extortion, economic pain, and instability worse than we can ever imagine. The United States has never been better prepared economically to confront this threat. You all know that. We built the strongest economy in history. We're going through it right now, the strongest in history. In 1 year, we've taken a dead and crippled country. I hate to say that, but we were a dead and crippled country after the last administration and made it the hottest country anywhere in the world by far, with no inflation, record-setting investments coming into the United States, over $18 trillion, and the highest stock market ever, with 53 all-time record highs in just 1 year. It all positioned us to get rid of a cancer that has long simmered. It's known as the nuclear Iran, and they didn't know what was coming. They've never imagined it. Remember, because of our drill baby drill program, America has plenty of gas. We have so much gas. Under my leadership, we are #1 producer of oil and gas on the planet, without even discussing the millions of barrels that
Drill, baby, drill.
we're getting from Venezuela. Because of the Trump administration's policies, we produce more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined.
I actually love that. The U.S. produces more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. That's a good thing. But it's not a good thing when we're using all of our natural resources. We don't want to use our natural resources, y'all. That's why we always going to other people's land and extracting their natural resources, so we don't have to use our own. We want to use everybody else's. We want to go take everybody else's. We want to go buy everybody else's instead of using our own. Yes, we can sell ours to them, but that's not what we want to do. We want to hold on to our oil and gas for as long as we can. We want to go take, borrow, and steal and buy everybody else's. We want to go take, borrow, and steal everybody else's minerals. All that, uranium. We don't want to use ours. We don't want to drill here. We want to drill there, mess up their land, mess up their fault systems underground. We don't want to do that here. So that's why when Trump was running against Biden many moons ago, and Biden was talking about the Green New Deal, and Trump was talking about drill, baby, drill, some people was against the drilling because we didn't want to drill here. We want to drill there. We want to go drill over there. Let's go take their oil and gas and natural gas and all their natural resources. We don't want to drill and mess up our land here. So just kind of keep that in mind, man. But shout out to all of them.
Think of that, Saudi Arabia and Russia combined, and that number will soon be substantially higher than that. There's no country like us anywhere in the world, and we're in great shape for the future. The United States imports almost no oil through the Hormuz Strait. And
I'm going to say it again. The fact that we don't import any oil, almost, that's what he said, almost. He didn't say any. We definitely got some oil coming from the Middle East. But he's saying that we don't import any oil from that Hormuz Strait. Let's see what he's about to say there.
we won't be taking any in the future. We don't need it. We haven't needed it, and we don't need it. We've beaten and completely decimated Iran. They are decimated, both militarily and economically and every other way. And the countries of the world that do receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage. They must cherish it. They must grab it and cherish it. They can do it easily. We will be helpful, but they should take the lead in protecting the oil that they so desperately depend on. So to those countries that can't get fuel, many of which refuse to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, we had to do it ourselves. I have a suggestion. Number one, buy oil from the United States of America. We have plenty. We have so much. And number two, build up some delayed courage. Should have done it before. Should have done it with us, as we asked.
He said, get some balls, man. Get some balls, man, is what he's saying. Some delayed courage. He's being nice about it. If you're on the other side of the world and you mad about what's going on with the Straits, then you do something about it, like the U.S. is. Get some
Go
balls.
to the Strait and just take it, protect it, use it for yourselves. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done, so it should be easy. And in any event, when this conflict is over, the Strait will open up naturally. It'll just open up naturally. They're going to want to be able to sell oil because that's all they have to try and rebuild. It will resume the flowing, and the gas prices will rapidly come back down. Stock prices will rapidly go back up. They haven't come down very much, frankly. They came down.
I want y'all to know one of my new favorite words too is decimated. You know what I'm saying? When I see somebody ugly, I'm like, hey man, your face look decimated, man. You know what I'm saying? Like decimated, to destroy a large portion of something, like somebody destroyed your face, caused severe damage to your face. You know what I'm saying? Your face looks decimated.
A little bit, but they've had some very good days over the last couple of days. We've done actually much better than I thought, but we had to take that little journey to Iran to get rid of this horrible threat. With our historic tax cuts, where people are just now talking about receiving larger refunds than they ever thought possible. They are getting so much more money than they thought. That's from the great big beautiful bill. Our economy is strong and improving by the day, and it will soon be roaring back like never before. It will top the levels that it was a month ago. I've made clear from the beginning of Operation Epic Fury that we will continue until our objectives are fully achieved. Thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. In the meantime, discussions are ongoing. Regime change was not our...
The Stone Ages. The Stone Ages. You know how crazy that sounds, man? That boy say want to blow them to smithereens, man. Send them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. Oh, man. Hey, man.
Our goal. We never said regime change, but...
The Flintstones drove with their feet, y'all. The Flintstones drove with their feet. That's all I'm saying. I just want y'all to know that.
Regime change has occurred because of all of their original leaders' death. They're all dead. The new group is less radical and much more reasonable. Yet if during this period of time no deal is made, we have our eyes on key targets. If there is no deal, we are going to hit each and every one of their electric generating plants very hard and probably simultaneously.
If he hit the electric generating plants very hard and simultaneously, the power grid goes out. You can't, ain't no food in the refrigerator, no Wi-Fi, no lights in the house, no AC in the Middle East.
We have not hit their oil, even though that's the easiest target of all, because it would not give them
Leave the oil alone, man. We need that. Don't blow the oil up.
even a small chance of survival or rebuilding. But we could hit it, and it would be gone, and there's not a thing they could do about it. They have no anti-aircraft equipment. Their radar is 100% annihilated. We are unstoppable as a military force. The nuclear sites that we obliterated with the B-2 bombers have been hit so hard that it would take months to get near the nuclear dust, and we have it under intense satellite surveillance and control. If we see them make a move, even a move for it, we'll hit them with missiles very hard again. We have all the cards, they have none. It's very important that we keep this conflict in perspective. American involvement in World War I lasted 1 year, 7 months, and 5 days.
This actually made sense to me. What he's doing right now, he's going to tell you exactly how long a lot of these world wars or some of the battles actually lasted that America was a part of, and letting you know, like, hey, we've been in Iran for about a month. Chill out. You know what I'm saying? Give us some time to finish the mission that we set out to accomplish. Now, don't just I mean, yeah, you wasn't doing the most when we was at World War One, when it was 100, a year or two, or 2, 3 years, or however long it was. So that's what he pointed.
World War II lasted for 3 years, 8 months, and 25 days. The Korean War lasted for 3 years, 1 month, and 2 days. The Vietnam War lasted for 19 years, 5 months, and 29 days. Iraq went on for 8 years, 8 months, and 28 days. We are in this military operation, so powerful, so brilliant, against one of the most powerful countries for 32 days.
That's it.
And the country has been eviscerated and essentially is really no longer a threat. They were the bully of the Middle East, but they're the bully no longer. This is a true investment in your children and your grandchildren's future. The whole world is watching, and they can't leave the power, strength, and brilliance. They just can't believe what they're seeing. They leave it to your imagination, but they can't believe what they're seeing. The brilliance of the United States military. Tonight, every American can look forward to a day when we are finally free from the wickedness of Iranian aggression and the specter of nuclear blackmail. Because of the actions we have taken, we are on the cusp of ending Iran's sinister threat to America and the world. And I'll tell you, the world is watching. And when we do, when it's all over, the United States will be safer, stronger, more prosperous, and greater than it has ever been before. May God bless the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much, and good night.
And there,
I want y'all to know, right? One thing that Donald Trump kept definitely saying is decimated and eviscerated. You know what I'm saying? Decimated and eviscerated. Some of his favorite words, man. Some of that boy's favorite words, man. Let's see if I got it, man. Boy said decimated and eviscerated. So eviscerate, I had to look it up. You know what I'm saying? Eviscerated. You know what I'm saying? It means to remove the internal organs, especially from the body. So he's saying the Iranian military was eviscerated. I mean, just, he tore them up. They no longer exist. They went in and took them all out. Eviscerated. And then, of course, the other word was decimated, man. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Donald Trump and the whole administration for making this happen. Now, I know that being a proud veteran, we lost a couple of men and women too. So I want to see what's going on with that. What are the names of the men and women we lost during Epic Fury? We lost a couple of men and women, man. You know, being a proud veteran, I want to make sure we highlight them that may have been, they sacrificed their lives for us. You know, so let's see if we can get the names of those men and women. Epic Fury, Iranian war, right now, this current war. They said there was 13 of them lost their lives. I just want the names. You know what I'm saying? The service members. Based on reports from March 2026 regarding Operation Epic Fury, 13 American service members lost their lives in the Middle East. 13. Cause of deaths. Some deaths occurred over the 2 weeks of fighting, with 7 service members killed and or as a result of Iranian attacks. 6 others killed in the crash of a KC-135 refueling aircraft in Western Iraq. That happened on March 12th. And then, of course, the operation began around March 1st. Just 30 days later, like Trump said, we had U.S. and Israeli actions targeting Iranian military capabilities. The casualties, 13. Approximately 200 U.S. troops were reported wounded in the first 2 weeks of the conflict. Now we're in 4 weeks of the conflict, and I'm sure these numbers will continue to increase. We're going to keep praying for all our men and women over there in uniform, making it happen, allowing us to do what we're doing over here. This is what they are fighting for our freedoms. So, get out of here. That was interesting. That was interesting. I enjoy watching a lot of the Trump presidential addresses because you want to know what's going on, want to know what's happening, and you want to be abreast of the gas prices, man. You know what I'm saying? Them gas prices be increasing and decreasing. You want to know what's going on? Why? 74. Let's see. Let me get to the other things I want to talk about. So if I had to ask a veteran, if I had to ask one of y'all veterans, man, would you enlist today knowing what you know now? Would you enlist today? I would. I still feel like me joining the Navy was the best decision I ever made in my life. And I tell people that all the time. I would definitely go to boot camp again with a smile on my face. I would put on a uniform. I would serve again. I would go through special warfare again. I would become a SWCC, enlisted SWCC boat guy again. I would do all the special training that I did on naval amphibious base. I would do all that again. I would swim in the ocean and jump out of helicopters and all that stuff again. Yes, I sure would. So would you enlist to all the branches? Navy, Army, Marines, Air Force, Space Force, Coast Guard? You know what I'm saying? So we got benefits versus the corporations. Who's really making the sacrifice? No, that's not what I want to talk about. Why this format hits hard? Five weeks in, we 5 weeks in, y'all. U.S. and Iran conflict. 5 years, 5 weeks in. So you got a bunch of veterans. I've been talking to a lot of veterans. They like, hey man, we ain't disagreements with the war. And then you got a lot of politicians that's like, nah, we for the war. And it's funny, the people that be in the uniforms normally be against risking their lives. And then it be the people with the suits and the ties on that be like, nah, let's go see what happens. You know what I'm saying? People fighting for oil and freedom. I just asked, would you re-enlist at a time like this? Or an even better question, would you send your kid to this war? Would you send your kid to this war? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? Probably not. I would not send my child to this war. I would not want my son or daughter fighting in this war. I want my son or daughter fighting the big bad wolf, the bullies. You know, I wouldn't want to go over there picking a fight. But we got our troops over there about to have boots on the ground. What about that? Do you agree with boots on the ground? How you feel about having boots on the ground? Boots on the ground. Should we have boots on the ground right now? Leave a comment. I'm about to shut this down, but I want to know how you feel about having boots on the ground. Would you enlist today knowing what you know now? Would you let your son or daughter go and fight in this war? Would you support sending ground troops? I wouldn't. Not the ground troops, man. The drone troops, not the ground troops. We can send the drone troops, but not the ground troops, man. I do not want to send the ground troops, just the drone troops. Let's see, am I missing something here? I think I talked about everything I want to talk about today, man. I'll be going live some nights, not every night. Just definitely talking about what's happening in the Middle East, what's happening here in the U.S. We got a lot to talk about, especially with this war going on in Iran. I went and found my Kevlar, as you can see. You know what I'm saying? I had to go find went and got this out my sea bag. They say we was at war. I'm like, okay, we at war, man. We at war. I'm gonna start training, man. I got to get back to training. I'll be going to the gun range tomorrow. I will be going live, man. You get a chance to follow me live tomorrow. If you are on, you'll see me at the gun range shooting some of my toys. Subscribe, like. I'm out of here, man. Let's see what y'all saying in the comments, man. See what y'all talking about in the comments, man. See what y'all talking about in the comments, man. Okay, man. Somebody said he does nothing but lie. Somebody said Obama didn't help us. We got one of the comments here. Iran has a charter to spread out by 2028. I have no idea what they're talking about. Veterans hate Trump. I don't know. I'm a veteran. I actually like Trump at a time of war. You know what I'm saying? He's a wartime president for sure. Bro, you're an idiot. How do you not know what asteroids are and meteors? This guy is a moron. I think he was talking about me. Said to my face. Why do people talk noise to people that got protective gear on? Like, why? I got shooting goggles on and stuff. Like, why would you even try to talk noise or even comment anything inappropriate to somebody that got on? Don't pretend don't pretend you're a veteran. That's stolen valor. Veterans love Trump. Somebody said, you're a creepy pedophile liar with a bunch of exclamation marks. Sir, carve his statue on the mountains, on the mountaintop. One of the best presidents in the United States of America, Mr. Trump president. Somebody gave me the laughing emojis. Delusional to say. Somebody put FDT. We know what that stands for. We know YG. YG, YG, man, you know what I'm saying? FDT. Fuck Donald Trump. I think I can say, can I say fuck? I can say fuck. I'm 43, I can say fuck. Give me 1 second. What's lunatic? I wonder if this guy shits with his mouth and talk with his ass. You know how I know Jesus was black? It says in the Bible, he's going to come back like a thief in the night. All right, man, we done.